Welcome back to the deep dive. So our mission today, it tackles something pretty universal, right? Getting more oxygen to your brain, muscles, all the important bits. We always hear, breathe deeper, take big breaths. But what if? What if breathing well actually means breathing less? We've got sources here detailing this thing called the Buteyko Method. It's a system apparently designed to make your breathing way more efficient. So today we're jumping past just the why, the surprising science about hyperventilation and getting right into the how. We're going to look at 4 specific exercises, things you can actually measure and use, like right away.
Yeah, and this system comes from Dr. Konstantin Buteyko. He was a Ukrainian physician back in the 50s, and he noticed something really quite simple but profound. Patients who were sick, they often breathed faster, kind of erratically, but those same people, when they were sleeping deeply or recovering well, their breathing was calm, it had pauses, it was gentle. So Buteyko thought, well, hang on, if being sick changes your breathing, maybe controlling your breathing could change your health, could help you relax, recover. And this isn't just some abstract idea about your lungs, it plugs right into your nervous system.
Okay, that connection, that feels key. Like that's where the power of this method really lies, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's immediate. So faster breathing, that kicks your sympathetic nervous system into gear. That's your fight or flight mode. Tension, stress, ready for action. But slow, gentle breathing, especially with pauses, that activates the parasympathetic side, which is all about rest, digestion, repair, the calm state.
Okay, so if faster breathing triggers fight or flight, does that mean Buteyko is kind of like a cheat code? A quick way to chemically calm down just by changing how much air you're moving. A bit like meditation does.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. You're basically using your breath to tell your brain, hey, it's safe here. And think about the implications for you, the listener. If you're someone who breathes through your mouth at night, maybe snores, you're actually nudging that sympathetic system on when you should be deep in parasympathetic rest mode.
Right. Leading to pretty rubbish sleep, I guess. And feeling wiped out the next day.
Exactly that. Poor sleep quality, more fatigue. It's a direct link. And this isn't just theory anymore. Back in the 80s, Russia actually incorporated Buteyko into their health system, mostly for asthma. And modern science backs it up. Reviews call Buteyko a safe and effective technique for asthma management. Right. They even mention pharmacoeconomic benefits, which basically means it helps people need less medication, saves money, improves health.
That's fascinating. And it's not just Buteyko, is it? It feels like a lot of these ancient practices, yoga, pranayama, meditation, they all seem to aim for this voluntary elimination of oral hyperventilation. Basically, stop over-breathing through your mouth.
That's a common thread, definitely.
And some studies even suggest this kind of conscious breathing can help maintain the integrity of your genes, which is, wow, pretty fundamental stuff.
It really gets down to the basics of wellness.
Okay, so the science makes sense. It's compelling. How do we actually do it? You mentioned measuring things.
Right? Because, the saying, what cannot be measured cannot be improved.
Yeah.
The starting point, the absolute cornerstone of Buteyko, is the control pause test, or CP test.
Control pause. Okay. What's it measuring?
It's measuring your body's tolerance to carbon dioxide, CO2. See, when we chronically overbreathe or hyperventilate, we blow off too much CO2. And counterintuitively, that makes it harder for oxygen to get to our cells.
Wait, less CO2 makes it harder for oxygen? That sounds backwards.
It does, right? But it's called the Bohr effect. CO2 actually helps oxygen release from your blood into your tissues. So reducing that chronic hyperventilation, it's essential. It feeds your mitochondria properly.
Okay, Bohr effect, got it. So how do we do this CP test?
Okay, precision matters here. Best time, first thing in the morning, before coffee, before bad news on your phone, before the stress hits. Makes sense. So step 1, sit up straight, feet flat, legs uncrossed.
Okay.
Step 2, take a normal, quiet breath in through your nose. Don't force it. No big chest or shoulder movement.
Just normal. Got it.
Step 3, exhale normally through your nose. Just let the same amount of air out gently.
In, out, normal. Okay.
Step 4, pinch your nose closed, completely shut, and start a timer immediately.
Right. Holding the breath after the exhale.
Exactly. And you hold. Now, this is crucial.
Yeah.
You hold until you feel the real definite need to breathe. Not the first little tickle or thought, but the actual physical urge kicking in.
Okay. The real need, not just the first hint.
Yeah.
That's a key distinction.
It is. And here's the check. The very first breath you take after you let go of your nose, it should be calm, silent, through the nose. If you gasp or take a huge sudden inhale, You held it too long, you pushed into strain.
Ah, so if you gasp, the test is kind of invalid for that attempt. You overshot.
Pretty much, the goal isn't maximum torture time. It's finding that comfortable limit and slowly, gently pushing it over time, building tolerance.
Okay. That makes sense. Progress, not pain. And I have to admit, when I first tried this, my score was not great, like firmly in the lower zones.
Yeah.
But the encouraging part,
Yeah.
just by focusing on nasal breathing during the day, trying not to mouth breathe when working or whatever, I got my score from maybe 20 seconds up to near 40 in less than a month.
That's fantastic and totally typical. It shows how trainable this is.
Yeah, it was motivating. So you get this number this time in seconds. What does it mean?
Right. So we interpret the score using 4 zones, and these zones linked back to that Bohr effect, your estimated CO2 levels, and how well oxygen is actually getting into your tissues. So zone 1. Less than 10 seconds. This is the danger zone. Your CO2 is likely below 3.5%. Oxygenation is poor.
And that 10-second mark, that links straight back to what you said about sleep, doesn't it? Below 10, probably struggling with sleep and fatigue.
Very high correlation, yes. Poor oxygenation during rest is a major issue there. Zone 2, 11 to 20 seconds. This is the needs improvement zone. CO2 is maybe 3.5% to 4.5%. Not critical danger, but definitely not optimal. You really need to work on that CO2 tolerance here.
Okay, 11 to 20, work needed.
Zone 3, 21 to 40 seconds. Now we're in the acceptable zone. CO2 is estimated between 4.5% and 5.5%. Things are looking up. Oxygen flow is pretty good.
Green shoots, as they say. That's where I landed after some practice.
Excellent. And finally, zone 4, more than 41 seconds. That's the optimal zone. CO2 likely above 5.5%. This indicates really excellent respiratory function. Your mitochondria are happy, better health, better rest, better performance.
Over 40 seconds is the goal then.
It's a great benchmark for optimal function, yes. And the studies show this improvement is real. Remember those asthma studies? The group doing Buteyko breathing plus their meds. Their average CP score went from about 13 seconds, which is, needs improvement bordering on danger, up to 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Right into acceptable.
Wow. And the group only on meds.
They stayed stuck down at around 11 seconds. No real change in their baseline breathing efficiency.
That's pretty stark. It shows the breathing exercises themselves made the difference.
It does. And they measured other things too, like maximum expiratory flow, basically how forcefully you can exhale. The Buteyko group improved significantly there too, going from 174 to 263 on average.
Good go.
Huge. And their asthma control scores, they dropped dramatically from 26 down to 12. Lower is better, the control group. Still hovering around 30.
Okay, the evidence seems solid. CP test is the baseline. What else is in the toolkit? You mentioned 4 exercises.
Right, so exercise 1 is the CP test itself, the measurement.
Exercise 2 is the dynamic control pause. It's basically the CP test, but while moving. So same start. Normal nasal inhale, normal nasal exhale. Then pinch your nose, hold your breath, but start walking.
Exactly. Walk at a normal pace.
You count your steps or maybe distance until you feel that same real need to breathe.
Yep. Again, gentle recovery breath through the nose afterwards.
And the sources mentioned trying this outside, sunlight, maybe barefoot, adds extra benefits.
It does seem to enhance the effect, yes. Nature connection, vitamin D, it all helps. And for people who get good at this, you can even try it with like push-ups or bodyweight squats during the breath hold. Let's start with walking.
Okay, dynamic CP. Got it. Exercise 3.
Exercise 3 is the nose unblocking exercise. This is key if you often feel congested and find nasal breathing difficult.
Yeah. That's a big barrier for people.
It uses the same breath hold principle. So first, ensure you're breathing 100% through the nose, quietly. Focus on belly breathing, not chest or shoulders.
Diaphragmatic breathing. Okay.
Exhale fully, gently through the nose, then pinch it shut.
Breath hold again.
Yes. But this time, while holding your breath, you do gentle head movements. Rocking your head side to side, nodding up and down, maybe gentle circles, slowly. Keep doing this until you feel a strong need to breathe. Again, not maximum strain, but definitely a strong urge.
Okay, head movements doing the hold. Then what?
Let go of your nose. You might take maybe 2 or 3 slightly bigger breaths through the nose initially. That's okay. But then you must immediately calm your breathing back down. Gentle nasal breathing.
Right. Quick recovery, then back to calm.
Rest for about a minute, and then repeat the whole thing, the hold with head movements, the recovery. Do it about 5 times in total. That's 1 set.
5 reps for nose unblocking. Seems doable. And the last one, exercise 4.
Exercise 4 is box breathing. This one's maybe more familiar to people. It's similar to some pranayama techniques. Very structured, very calming.
Box breathing. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
How does it work in this context?
It's simple. You create a box with your breath timing. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds.
Okay.
Hold your breath gently for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through the nose for 4 seconds.
Exhale.
And then hold the breath out after the exhale for 4 seconds.
Hold out. Got it. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold out 4.
That's one cycle. The key is that all 4 phases are equal. You can adjust the time, maybe start with 2 or 3 seconds if 4 feels like a strain, or go up to 5 or 6 if you're comfortable, but they must match.
It's a balanced, easy to follow.
Exactly. It's a great way to practice controlled, calm breathing with pauses built right in. But these exercises, they're like training wheels in a way.
How do you mean?
Well, the real goal isn't just doing the exercises for 10 minutes a day. It's about internalizing this way of breathing, making quiet, nasal abdominal breathing your default all day long.
So using the exercises to retrain your automatic habits when you're working, reading, driving.
Precisely. That's when the real magic happens, when it becomes unconscious.
Which leads to another point the sources brought up, posture. Seems obvious when you think about it, but bad posture, like slouching all the time, that physically restricts your breathing, right?
Right. Absolutely critical. If you're slumped over, what they sometimes call dorsal hyperkyphosis or superior crossed syndrome. Basically, hunched shoulders, head forward.
Yeah, tech neck.
Right. That literally compresses your rib cage and limits how much your diaphragm can move. Bad posture equals bad breathing mechanics. It's a physical limitation. You can't get a good CP score if your lungs can't expand properly.
So fixing posture is part of fixing breathing.
They go hand in hand. And related to making nasal breathing easier, the sources mention a couple of, slightly unconventional tools.
Do tell.
First one is mouth taping.
Taping your mouth shut.
Yeah, sounds a bit scary, I know. But using a small piece of gentle medical-grade tape vertically over the lips. Often at night, it's just a light reminder, a physical cue to keep the mouth closed and breathe through the nose. And studies actually support its use for improving sleep and reducing things like snoring.
Mouth tape. Okay. Didn't see that coming. What's the second one?
Much simpler. Nasal strips. You know the little adhesive strips you put over the bridge of your nose?
Oh, yeah, like athletes use sometimes.
Exactly. They just physically help to open up the nasal passages a little bit. Makes nasal breathing feel easier, less restrictive, especially if you tend towards congestion.
Okay, those make sense as aids to encourage that nasal pathway. So let's try to bring this all together. What's the big picture from this deep dive? We've seen the Buteyko method isn't about breathing more, but breathing smarter. Less volume, more efficiency. It uses measurable things like the control pause test to help you increase your tolerance for CO2.
Right, and that increased CO2 tolerance, thanks to the Bohr effect, paradoxically means better oxygen delivery to your brain, muscles, organs.
And we've got the practical tools.
Yeah.
The CP test itself, the dynamic CP for movement, the nose unblocking exercise, and that simple box breathing pattern.
Those are the core practices, and for anyone wanting to go deeper, the work of Patrick McKeown is fantastic. His book, The Oxygen Advantage, really builds on Buteyko principles. And Daniel Fernandez's resources, Respiration Vital, are also really comprehensive.
Good recommendations. So we've focused today on mastering the internal environment through breath-controlled Buteyko style. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens if you combine this kind of internal mastery with deliberate external stressors?
Interesting thought. Where are you going with this?
Well, the next logical comparison, maybe, how does Buteyko stack up against, or maybe complement, that other huge name in breathing and resilience, Wim Hof?
The Iceman. Breathing in cold exposure.
Exactly. Buteyko for internal balance, Wim Hof perhaps for pushing boundaries with external challenges like cold. How do they fit together? Or do they conflict?
That's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
Definitely something to think about. Maybe while you check your control pause score first thing tomorrow morning.